Hey, what's up you guys, it's Caboose bringing you another Batman Arkham Knight video, and today what I got for you guys here is going to be another video where I'm ranking some things. We are going to rank today the playable characters in Batman Arkham Knight from worst to best. But hey, before we jump into this, if you still go in and play Arkham Knight from time to time like I do and appreciate this game a whole 7 years later, well then scroll down right now and hit that thumbs up button, share your love for this game with me. If you're new here and you want to keep up to date on some upcoming DC games, well I got you covered on that. Speaking of playable Bat family members, we got a brand new game that's centered around exactly that. Gotham Knights comes out later this year. And then Rocksteady's next outing that's centered in the Arkham universe is coming out next spring. Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, and I'll bring you all the coverage that you could possibly want for both of those games. And if that sounds like a good deal to you, well then hit that subscribe button and turn on those notifications to be immediately notified when a video goes live. And before we get into the actual list, let's have a quick word from today's sponsor. Alright, happy Earth Day, everyone. I think we all know that Poison Ivy was pretty mean to us in the Arkham games, but by the last one, Arkham Knight specifically, she seemed to be on our side. I think as well, the Batman finally understood that all Poison Ivy was trying to do was just protect plant life, which actually brings me to the sponsor of today's video, Shaw. This year, Shaw is trying to plant 20,000 trees here in Canada, and they need our help to do it in a really fun way. If you want to participate, it's actually super simple. All you need to do is take a screenshot of you planting a tree in any game that allows you to do so. After you've taken that screenshot, just post it on social media and use the hashtag ShawTreeSpree. If you live in Canada, there's extra incentive. Whenever you post that screenshot with the accompanying hashtag, you'll be entered into a draw to win one of 10 $150 gift cards for Steam. So what are you waiting for? Get to planting those trees in game, and Shaw is going to match that by planting a tree in real life. Thank you very much once again to Shaw for sponsoring today's video and putting together this amazing campaign. And with all that being said, enjoy the rest of the video. Okay, how about we kick things off now here. Starting out at number 7, we have Azrael. This one is pretty straightforward. This character is simply a reskin of Batman. It isn't the worst offense given the character was trying to be Batman's successor throughout the entirety of the side quest in Arkham Knight, but it definitely would have been nice to see him have somewhat of a moveset of his own. The character has a great design, and of course, if the choice is between playing as Azrael that's a reskin of Batman or not playing as Azrael at all, I'm choosing the former. Still though, comparatively, he takes the lowest spot on this list as everyone else has some form of innovation to the way that they play. Then coming in at number 6, I have Harley Quinn. Okay, this list is actually kind of difficult because I genuinely like to play as the rest of the characters on this list, but I rank Harley a little bit lower mainly because I enjoy the animations, gadgets, and overall flair of the other characters from here on out. Harley is still pretty fun to play as though. Building up that rage meter and then unleashing, dishing out takedown after takedown can be pretty addicting, especially if you're playing the challenge map where you have to avoid getting hit. I also thought her little story pack was decent. Wish they had more substance for sure, but not too bad. I know that doesn't really have to do with the character as a playable character, but nevertheless. It's also really cool that her detective vision is almost what Harley actually sees as she's kind of gone mad. I thought that was a nice touch. And then finally, it's pretty great that we got the classic Harley Quinn skin added into this game for free. Shoutouts to Rocksteady for doing that. Moving on though now to the number 5 spot, I have Robin. I honestly had a tough time forming the list from this point as I really love playing as the rest of the characters here. Robin is a ton of fun though, and I remember being so excited when we first got word that he was going to be a DLC playable character for Batman Arkham City. I love the shield, and the sound effects with the staff are super satisfying. It's also sweet that the character can glide, but damn, I am so sad that we never got the chance to free roam as these characters in the open world Rocksteady created for Arkham Knight. Just a huge missed opportunity, and I truly think if the game was made today, that would definitely have been something that Rocksteady would have worked towards adding. Nevertheless, Robin is a great addition to the roster, but oh man, his Arkham City design with the hood being up is 1,000 times better. I think we can all agree on that. Here we are now though at number 4, and I got Catwoman at the 4th spot. I know we're talking about Arkham Knight here, but it's crazy how Rocksteady went from a fairly straightforward Batman game with Arkham Asylum that only had a PlayStation exclusive DLC character in the Joker, and then literally cranked it up to 12 with Batman Arkham City, adding Catwoman, Robin, and Nightwing to the roster of playable characters. Anyways, Catwoman is a blast to play as. Very agile character with some interesting gadgets and pretty unique traversal that we once again can't really explore too much of, unfortunately. At least not in Arkham Knight. I think dual play actually really complements this character. There's an interesting level of juxtaposition between playing as her and Batman that makes bouncing between the two something that's very engaging and challenging. And yeah, her takedown animations, she's Catwoman, you know? You know? Okay, anyways, moving on. Like I said, she is a blast to play as, and I also like some of the stealth abilities that the character has. Even the things that you could do through those Riddler challenges throughout Batman Arkham Knight's side quest with Catwoman. It was cool how she could stick to the ceiling and climb around and all that. It was just something that was different. I liked that. Okay, though, now we're on to number 3, and I feel like every time I make these list type videos, once it winds down to the top 3, I always mention how the last 3 spots were the toughest decisions to make, and I'll reiterate that sentiment once again. I had a difficult time narrowing down these last 3 characters and where I would rank them for this list, but at number 3 I have Batgirl. Putting aside the fact that she's the only character who actually got a fairly sizable expansion, I also love the way that she mirrors some of Batman's moves but builds on that and begins to feel like her own character, something I wanted out of Azrael. Plus, she can dive bomb when she glides, which WB Montreal, who developed her DLC, is seemingly bringing back for Gotham Knights. She's just a well-designed character in my opinion, and I have to sound like a broken record here and state that we should have been able to throw these characters into Gotham City and have fun with them in an open environment. Batgirl's design is also 10 out of 10 in this game. She's just a super solid addition to the long list of playable characters in the Arkham franchise. Okay, now we're down to the final 2, and I know some people are actually going to be quite shocked as the character I've put at the runner-up spot is my favorite Bat family member and a character that I was beyond hyped to see show up in Arkham Knight. But yeah, number 2, I have Red Hood. This sounds morbid, but I give Rocksteady so much props for not shying away from the true nature of this character. He uses guns and has no moral compass. Red Hood as a playable character really exceeded my expectations. It's so cool that he uses the ends of his pistols with his hand-to-hand combat, and that you can even use the guns as a quick-fire gadget. Also, people need to wake up and realize that his base design in Arkham Knight is awesome. Argue with the wall for all I care. As a massive fan of this character, I was so glad to see him get the Rocksteady treatment. Regardless of what people have to say of the whole Arkham Knight persona, it's great to see Jason Todd in an Arkham game, playable as his coolest, most badass self. And also, oh man, how great was it that we inevitably got the actual Arkham Knight look as an alternate skin for free. I remember that making me very happy. And yes, you've already guessed it by now, but at number 1, I have Nightwing, which even for me was something that was a bit shocking. I remember when I first played through Arkham Knight and everything that the game had to offer, I firmly believed that Red Hood was my favorite playable character. But all these years later, jumping back into the game and replaying these characters to see if I still feel the same way, I realized that Nightwing is, for me, the most versatile and without a doubt the character I always feel the urge to play as if it's not Batman himself. The skirmishes are fantastic, and all the different kinds of takedowns or special moves that you can perform make for some very unique gameplay and some sweet visuals. Just as I was saying earlier with Catwoman, Nightwing is another character that shows off what's so great about dual play. Batman being this brute force, laying the beat down on his enemies, then switching over to an acrobat like Nightwing really keeps you on your toes. Honestly, not to get too sidetracked, it's an example like this that gets me really excited for Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League and playing that game solo. Back to the topic at hand though, I really love how Nightwing plays in this game, and if I was as big a fan of the character as I am a fan of Red Hood, this would absolutely fulfill every wish I could have wanted out of an opportunity to actually play as Nightwing. It gets me even more hyped to see what WB Montreal has in store for us with Gotham Knights. And there you have it. That is my list from worst to best of all the playable characters in Batman Arkham Knight. But again, as I always say, this is just my list, this is just my opinion, and you don't have to agree. So instead of typing an angry comment, how about instead you just let me know what your opinion is? How do you rank the playable characters in Arkham Knight from worst to best? Sound off with your thoughts in the comments section below. And of course, if you enjoyed today's video, if you could consider leaving a like rating on it, it would show your support and I would really appreciate it. I'm Caboose, and you can click on screen to make your way to one of the other videos on the channel, or you can click my logo to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. You can also follow me on Instagram and Twitter. Those links are going to be in the description. Drop a like if you enjoyed, leave leave a comment if you have an opinion, and subscribe if you're new. See you guys later.